Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady, I'm so excited to take you through this ship tour. In this video, whether you are a long-time sailor or a first-time sailor, I'm going to take you through all the spaces so that you can become familiar with this ship and have the best cruise vacation because you know exactly how to navigate it. And if you're a long-time sailor, I'm going to be taking you through all the new changes because Valiant Lady just came out of dry dock and I thought it was going to be just like Brilliant Lady. But it's not. There's a lot of things that are similar, but there are some things that are different. Plus we got the new restaurant and so much more coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. Oh, I'm back. I want you to book your cruise with us. We can help you to be a smart traveler. Make sure you reach out. More info in the description below, even if you've already booked. It's just an email, a text message, a phone call, or fill out the form. Let's see if we can help you out. All of that is down below in the description. Let's start this tour with where I'm at right now, which is the Perch. This is the Perch, and we are all the way at the top and all the way at the back of the ship on deck 17. And so in this space, there's all kinds of things that happen here, whether you're just laying out on the sunbeds, or sometimes there's dance classes up here. Sometimes they have the events and parties, whether you're Deep Blue or Splash of Romance. Lots of different things happen here. You can see some people on the outside. They are walking around the track because the track is what is around the Perch and extends to the back of the ship. So as we move to this side, we have more kind of lounges and sunbathers here. And you have the track that extends all the way around on both sides. One helpful thing to know is that there are water fountains everywhere around the ship. This is a top misperception because Virgin Voyages just sails differently. So they provide water, free drinks, etc. And you'll find water refill stations everywhere, one of which is right here. And this kind of extends through to the other side where you'll find more loungers as well as the rest of the track. One of the things that I love doing up here, this is just for me, I love doing Zumba. But you also have a top view of the sports court. So you have more track over here and a helpful tip. And top misperception, don't just come here during the daytime. This is one of the best spots to take a photo. You got the Virgin sign behind there. Come not just during the day, but come at nighttime. You have the sports deck here. We'll walk past that when we head downstairs. But one also, lots of people don't realize this, they oftentimes have towels or they have yoga mats available up here. I can see both here. You can see you got yoga mats and you got towels over here. But this is the Perch on deck 17. It's kind of hard to come up here because these stairs is what hides this space. And so let's head downstairs where we're going to be on deck 16. So 16 is above the pool and 15 is kind of the main space where you're probably spending most of your time, which is at the pool. I got a birthday boy behind me. I got Scott Golden behind me. He's just going to be hanging out with me today, walking around with me. He's kind of holding a lot of my additional camera gear. Thank you. So you'll see him in frame. But you have some of these really fun little swings to chill and hang out on. And then still, they kept this the same. So you have the seesaw that's over here, and you have another water refill station here, and then you have the sports court. And it kind of varies throughout the day. They do have pickleball available on Valiant Lady, so we were playing earlier today. We have a restroom that's over here that's an all gender. But let's actually head to the back of the ship and then walk around, because what you'll have back here is the athletic club. And this is a top misperception that people have. A lot of people always say, Virgin Voyages, they don't show any of the games. We're actually here during World Cup, so it is incredibly important for them to be showing the games, and they are definitely showing them up here, as well as, and we'll walk through these spaces, the social club and more. So you have the hot tub that's over here, and one of the changes that you'll see immediately is you have a similar setup to what you see on Brilliant Lady, which is more sunbeds that have this open space out here. And so they made that change to the athletic club. And then they have the standard bar that's on this side. They've kind of changed a lot of this middle section so that there's more areas to sit and hang out in. So that's a little bit different. We still have the triple net that's over here. I call it the I call it the worst foot massage in the world. You're supposed to take your shoes off to go on the triple net, but it looks down to the dock. So again, we're on deck 16 right now, but when you head out onto the triple net, you can look all the way down. Well, right now you can see this is 15, the back of the galley, but you can go onto this side and scoot over, and you're able to see all the way down to the dock on deck 7. So you can see everyone's hanging out today. A great place to be able to spend an afternoon getting some sun. We're in Cannes, we're in France today. We're on the European sailing. It's been absolutely fantastic. But as we come around to the other side of the athletic club, you'll see that there's another hot tub over here. You got showers. And one thing that was really special, we have some seating over here, additional towels. Those are available all over the ship. And then you have the other entrance to go up to where we had started at the Perch on deck 16. One thing that was really fun, because I was on the Alaska Mermaiden out of Seattle. We got to see Sir Richard Branson playing chess against the sailors. That was really fun. I'll be honest, I signed up for it, but I kind of chickened out. Lots of areas to sit and lounge over here. And I will say, in general, one of the things I've noticed, another bathroom over here, is just more seating and lounging areas on the newly updated Valiant Lady as well as Brilliant Lady. So we have more chairs over here. We got a little bit of twister down here. One thing that they did not change, but one thing I did see that they did change, they still have all of the cabanas that you can rent during port days or sea days. So these private cabanas that you see over here. One of the things that's different is that on embarkation day, they actually had a little open ones, so you can tour them. So you can check that out on social media. I have, if you're not following me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places, there's tons of more additional helpful tips, blog, and make sure, this is a big one, make sure you're on the email list. Lots of helpful tips over there. I'm going to be totally honest. These are not inexpensive, depending on, because sometimes port days versus non-port days cost a little bit more. It can be like $200. So it's not an inexpensive thing. But one thing that they did not do is the cabanas that are out here. So you'll see that in just a second. But these ones are available. Those ones are available for rent. So as we come to this other side, now we're headed toward mid. So if you're new to cruising, that would be considered aft, the back of the ship. We're moving toward mid, the middle of the ship. And over here, you'll find this kind of top-down view of what I call the small pool. So this is not the main pool, but this is one of the pool areas. And we'll walk around down there. But this pool tends to be more like the lukewarm pool. Call it that. It's not a hot tub. And it's not the same temperature normally as the regular pool. You have 2 of the hot tubs here, lots of seating all around. And then you have a bar downstairs and upstairs. One thing that people don't realize is that within the app, all the hours for the restaurants, all the hours for the bars, etc., they're all in there. So if you're always like, oh, I want to go to fill in the blank right now, go check the app to make sure it's open. Here is a top misperception. This is something a lot of people don't realize. These seats over here, I know they have numbers on them, and that kind of confuses a lot of people because they're like, oh, do I have to reserve them? You don't. I think that the numbers are there for the servers who are walking around serving you, but you can sit and lounge in these. And a top thing most people miss is down below. You can actually pull out this little additional, it's like a footstool. So you can pull this out and put your feet up. I don't know. I like to get the poke bowls and sit out in these chairs and enjoy the view. I mean, we have beautiful France all around us. Absolutely gorgeous. So these, don't think you have to book them. Absolutely available and free. There's so much amazing things that come included with the price of your sailing. Book your cruise with us. More info in the description. Gorgeous day at the pool today. So this is what's called the main pool. You can see that they've made the same changes that you see on Scarlet and Brilliant Lady, in that they have like the railings on the side of the pool here. Not a huge change, but it's also another thing that's different is it's a little bit more open, and they have the sunbeds. We'll walk around down there. But in general, I mean, look at how many seats they've put up here. They've added a lot of additional seating that I just haven't really seen before. Like there's lots of places to hang out and chill. And as we move to this side, one thing that's different is that you just have more of these types of seats versus on Scarlet Lady, you have the cabanas. There's two two-ish main places that you can smoke. This is one of them here. This is one of the smoking areas. I'll save it till the end of the video. We have Richard's Rooftop over there. That's for rock stars only. So if you're interested in that, and in general, make sure I take the time to put chapters below. So make sure you're taking a look at that in case you just want to jump ahead to the new Ariya restaurant, you want to see Richard's Rooftop, etc. This area is where the DJ tends to set up. And then you have more of these seats on this side. And one thing that I missed, it took me 6 sailings. Again, I'm on sailing number 38 with Virgin Voyages right now. It took me 6 sailings to finally find something that's right behind me. And that's the Sun Club. And the Sun Club is poke bowls, bao. There's lots of really delicious items here. But this is one I definitely recommend checking the app to see what time they open at. But I absolutely love coming up here to eat. There's seating over here, but again, you can take the food anywhere you want on the ship. They have some select drinks up here, but this is the Sun Club. So that's deck 16. On the other side, you have kind of a same thing where you have more seating, etc. What we're going to do is we're going to head down to 15, and I'm going to show you what's on the pool deck. All right, so I just came down the stairs, and we're at deck 15-4, so the front of the ship. And there's 2 spaces I want to show you before we walk through the pool area. And that's when you walk through these doors over here. So the rooms that are on deck 15-4, these are all the mega Rockstar rooms. So there's Rockstar and then there's Mega Rockstar, and all those rooms are at the front of the ship. But there's 2 other things that are over here. One is the tune-up, and this is where you can find things like manicures, pedicures, the IV treatment stuff. There's all kinds of things, beauty-wise, that they have in here that they offer. I love getting my nails done over here. But you also have like a nice view when you're doing this and getting a manicure. Someone's over there getting a pedicure, so I'm gonna give them some privacy. And on the other side, this is one where lots of people are always like, I'm not a partier. Are there any quiet spaces where I can read? And a lot of people don't even realize that this space even exists. And it's called the Scene. I love this scene. Let's see if anyone's in the scene today. I love the scene because this space, we have both tables here and seating looking out. I mean, I've come up here and played games. I've come up here just relaxed and read and look at the view. I've come up here and I've seen weddings up here. If you've ever considered a vow renewal or a wedding on Virgin Voyages, we can help you with that. Make sure you're checking that playlist. Nice piece of art and just a beautiful place to hang out. I feel like I don't really want to tell you any of this because then the space is going to be packed out because everyone's going to find out about it. This door that's currently blocked off leads out to the pool area. So let's go through the non-blocked door and let me take you out there. But these 2 spaces are ones that lots of people miss, and that's the Scene, which is where we're at now, and then the other side with the tune-up. But let's head out to the pool. It's a gorgeous day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very sweaty. These doors automatically open, so it's a helpful tip. Lots of people don't realize it, and it starts opening, and they'll be talking, looking behind them, and anyway, you get the point. So we have the pool over here. Nothing is reservable. First come, first serve. And a top misperception. You can't come out here and just save something for the day. It's a 40-minute, so like if you leave your stuff just out for 40 minutes or more, they'll come put it with security. But all the day beds, etc., just first come, first serve. You see lots of people hanging out. Different than Resilient Lady. You'll see that this is like a little bit more open on this side, whereas at the other ones, they have a little bit of different seating over there. You have the bar extended on this side. And one thing that's helpful to know is that it's not just alcohol at the bar. They have lots of, depending on which bar you go to, like smoothie options and mocktail options. Just make sure you're checking, check out the bars video that I have. It goes through every menu. They have towels available over here. And then you have what I'm calling the small pool on this side with lots of people hanging out. And this is going to lead to mid. So we're about to head into mid, and we're about to head into a section that you will spend a lot of your sailing on. And that's going to be the galley, which is the food hall area. One thing that has not changed on Valiant Lady after dry dock, you still have the fun monkey bars and workout area, but this is deck 15 for the pool area. And as we head inside, you'll find the mid elevators. So in general, if you're ever, this is just something where it's okay, and I feel like people beat themselves up too much about it, is that if you're lost, one, it's normal. You should be lost on a cruise ship, especially if you've never been before. And the second thing is that just go to mid and then navigate from there. Generally, everything is accessible via mid. So we're going to start with the galley because I think you're likely most interested in that. And then we're going to jump into what's on the right-hand side, which is the B complex, burn and bike. And then on the other side is where like the weightlifting area is at. But the galley, you're immediately going to see this first change on Valiant Lady, which is they updated the Grounds Club 2. So there's the Grounds Club, which is the coffee bar on 7, and the Grounds Club 2 is the coffee bar that's in the galley. And so in this space, they did a couple things. They have the updated seating area that's over here. They have alcohol, and they have like a new menu that's over here. And then they have more seating area that's on this side as well. And one thing that they added literally within the last couple months, because I just sailed Alaska on Brilliant, is the new menus as well with some new items. So things are changing all the time on Virgin Voyages. I love to cover what's new, so make sure you check out those videos. And then they have some of the updated seating that's over here that extends for Grounds Club 2, and you can kind of see it's a little bit more of an open space. Let's just look at this in general, because one thing I love is getting food from the galley and then just sitting in this space. It's just a really pretty space to sit in. And then this extends over to the main galley. And the galley is the food hall. And one of the things that confuses a lot of people is the hours of each of the things that are in here, because they're all kind of different. For example, like the burger bar is open till 2 a.m. versus Diner and Dash is open 24 hours versus, right? A lot of them, just make sure you're checking your app. One thing that I love is they do rotating salads and soups if you're not doing a build your own salad. So that's at the daily mix. I love getting the soup of the day. Today it's a garlic cream soup, really tasty. This confuses a lot of people, which is we have the galley, which we're going to continue to walk through on this side. But over here is the entrance to one of the main restaurants, and that's Gunbae. Gunbae is the Korean restaurant where it's a shared table, and you can sit with other sailors and play. The drinking game's totally optional. Most people think, I know I'm saying misperception. It might be misconception. I know you all love to correct me. Thank you for the proper grammar. I'm concerned about showing you the ship. I'm not really concerned about the grammar. You're all adults. I know you can figure it out. Wash your hands. Anyway, when you walk back into Gunbae, you have the hot plates. You can see that they're covered right now. So the hot plates are currently covered, but you're sitting in this shared area. The drinking game is 1, optional, and 2, alcohol is optional. You do not have to drink alcohol to play. I oftentimes play with juice, water, Sprite, Moet, because I don't like to drink soju. They do offer you soju. A top complaint is that people complain that they only get 1 free or a couple free soju drinks. I'm like, it's free. Like, are you expecting your alcohol to be free? I would love for Virgin Voyages to pay for my alcohol. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Maybe we should start a petition for that. Well, I guess you probably want your own petition also for that. So this is Gunbae, super fun restaurant. It gets really loud in here. They recently updated and changed the menu for Gunbae. I actually love the new items. I ate every single one of them on a sailing. And so make sure you check out that video if you're curious about what's new on the menu. But this is Gunbae. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is if you're, for example, you're vegetarian and you're dining at a table where people are having meats grilled in front of you, you can say, like, I don't want my vegetables cooked on that same grill, and they will cook it on a different grill. Lots of people don't realize that. Virgin Voyages tries to do a lot for people with dining restrictions or preferences, etc. Is it perfect? No. I wouldn't expect it to be, but I mean, they're doing their best. So just that's one helpful thing to know. Or for example, if you have like a seafood allergy, they will cook the seafood for the rest of the people at the table somewhere else. So this is Gunbae. This is a restaurant you have to make a reservation for. But helpful to know, you can still just walk in and try to see if you can get in. Make sure you check out the dining reservations video, because a lot of people, they're unsure what time to make their dinner reservations at, or they're unsure if they can walk in or not. I mean, if you're trying to go at 7 o'clock during peak time to the wake, for example, that's going to be a hard place to be able to walk in at. But if you go, for example, later at like 9, it's going to be a little bit easier. All right. This is somewhere that Scott's been spending a ton of time, and that's the sweet side. And one helpful thing to know about this dessert spot is not only are the hours they run pretty late, but every day they do a different special of the day. And in general, in the Galley, there's a special of the day. So it's just, especially if you like sweets or variety, make sure you're checking out the specials of the day. On the other side, you have well bread, which is everything from different types of literal bread to donuts to cookies, etc. Then you have the burger bar, and it's not just burgers all the time. Like yesterday's special of the day that you see here, yesterday's was a sauerkraut. It was a hot dog, really tasty. It's sausage. But burger bar, late hours. That one's open till 2 a.m. And then you have all day breakfast at Diner and Dash, and they will also have rotating food. And today is an Asian theme, but they also have all-day breakfast as well. So that's available to you, and that's open 24 hours. So that's Diner and Dash. On the other side are a couple things. So one is Pops and Bubs. And no, the champagne is not free, but the popsicles are. So for example, you can get, a glass of Moet, and then you can put one of the popsicles inside of it. I like my Moet plain. I like my mimosas with no orange juice, but they also do a rotating flavor. Today they have pineapple guava, they have a chocolate banana, and the last one is this berry rose. And then as we head onto this side, one other helpful thing to know. The Galley kind of switches over at 11:30 or so, and so between breakfast and lunch. So it's kind of helpful to know that you should avoid, in my opinion, the Galley during that time, because they're making that switch. But they have something that I love for breakfast, which is Let's Talk About It. And they have breakfast burritos over here. During the afternoon, right now, they're serving a carnitas nacho, and they usually have different types of tacos. One thing that's specific to Valiant Lady is Feta Late and Hungry, where they have some Greek food. And so that's something that's specific to Valiant Lady. And one thing that's over here that I eat at a lot is Noodle Around. And this is where you're gonna find your noodles. You're going to find your ramen, you're going to find your soups, you're going to find here on Valiant Lady, you're going to find pad thai. And one thing that's helpful to know is, again, they'll do their absolute best to accommodate you. For example, those breakfast burritos that I was talking about, you can't get adjustments on them. But when I order the tonkatsu ramen from Noodle Around, I will order it as tonkatsu ramen with just noodles and eggs. I don't actually get the pork or anything else, or the mushrooms, etc. Not a vegetarian. It's just how I like to eat it because it's a really heavy dish. But Noodle Around is here. And then at the end, you have Hot Off the Press. And make sure you're looking for the daily specials, because it's another one where they have all kinds of unique things for the special of the day. They have, how many do they have today? 4 specials of the day. They have this deviled egg toast. They have this pistachio. I need to pause this video and eat something right now. But this is hot off the press. You'll find lots of different bread items over here. And one thing that a lot of people miss is sitting outside. So when you walk to the very back of the galley, you have tons of outdoor seating. That's what's back here. So one thing a lot of people don't realize is the outdoor area at the galley. They don't realize that you can sit outside, that this area even exists. And in general, ahoy, thank you. One thing that's really helpful to know is that I kind of walked you through the galley in a way in which you can walk up and order things. You don't have to walk up and order things. If you want more table service, again, one of the things that Virgin Voyages just does differently in general is that there's no buffet. So if you want more table service, you can simply raise the flag. And what I mean by raising the flag is on every single table, they have this QR code so you can look at the menu. And then they also have like premium, right? Coffee's free. We'll go look at that in a second. Coffee's free. But they also have like all kinds of alcoholic items. But if you want the crew to help you out, you can simply raise this one's a hard flag to raise. You can simply raise the flag and they'll come around and take your order and you can just relax, lounge and do that thing called being on vacation and they'll serve you. And so this set of stairs takes us to where we were at before, which is the athletic club. So you can kind of see that gold that's up there, the athletic club, you've already seen that. So let's head back inside. I'm gonna walk you through the other side of the galley and where the free coffee is. I actually really like the free coffee. It's intelligentsia. It's a tasty coffee, I like it, but it's free. I actually oftentimes will drink the free coffee instead of the premium coffee. One helpful thing to know is depending on how many times you've sailed, you will earn status. And when you earn status, that allows you to have up to, in deep blue extras, that's like the highest status on Virgin Voyages, up to two free premium coffees per day. That's just helpful to know. Sometimes I use them. When I was in Alaska, they have lots of Alaska-specific items, including drink items, one of them being a salty sea otter mocha. That was really delicious. I definitely used my 2 premium drinks on that. Another helpful tip about the galley, it can get incredibly busy here, especially on the mornings of port days when people are like eating before they head out, or it gets really busy here on sea days. One thing not to miss is Ship Eats. Ship Eats is the delivery to your room. And one thing that's different now, if you haven't sailed in several years, is that you have to have a minimum of a $10 spend to have Ship Eats be free. So it's $10 for the delivery fee for Ship Eats, unless you get $10 worth of stuff, which could be, 2 lattes at $5 each, for example. Or for me, a half bottle of Moet at $55, for example. What's on this side of the galley is Bento Baby, and this is where they have different kinds of sushi items that are freshly prepared, and they have them in these little takeaway boxes. So this is where Bento Baby is at. This is what I was talking about in terms of the coffee. So you have the free coffee on this side. They also have tea, and they also have half and half, almond milk, oat milk, etc. So that's on that side. Also helpful to know, on this side you get the free juices, you get sodas, etc. That's all included. Virgin Voyages does things differently. And then you have lots of seating on this side of the galley. And one thing that a lot of people miss is this takeaway fridge. And one of my most favorite items is in this fridge, so I'm gonna show you that. But also helpful to know, you got the drink refill on this side, and then you have the directory. A lot of people are like, oh, what's in the galley? There's a map right there. One of my favorite things that's in here, Jake the foodie loves this dark chocolate dessert item, but my favorite is the tres leches cake. It's my favorite dessert on the ship. I like to, on day one, grab one and put it in my fridge, and then grab one of the serving spoon or the little fork knife spoon napkin thingy. Anyway, tres leches cake, don't miss that. One thing that should be difficult for you is finding bathrooms on the ship. They're like somewhere on the side over here. If you can't find a bathroom, you're doing it right. I generally just go back to my room. I'm gonna walk you through the gym when no one is here, but on this side, you have the build and balance. You have the classroom here, and then you have all the fitness equipment that's mostly like weightlifting, etc. And then on the other side, you have where like the bikes, the treadmills, etc. are at. I know no one's in there, so I'll walk you through that one. I like to try to respect people's privacy as much as I can, especially, you know, when they're working out, etc. But B Complex Burn and Bike, one thing I love about Virgin Voyages that they do differently, because I recently cruised with another cruise line, is that the fitness classes are free. So they have lockers on this side. I just leave my stuff around, to be totally honest. They provide towels. You have another water refill station that's right here. They have a whole fitness staff team that can take you through wellness things like the eVolt, which will tell you about your body composition. And then on this side, they provide the free spin classes, or you can spin on your own. So tons of spin bikes. I would say in terms of like fitness classes, this is the easiest one to get into and drop into. In general, if they're all filled up, I like to drop in anyway because most people are on vacation. We're like, I didn't realize I signed up for a workout class. I slept until noon, which is great. You should try to drop in for a class if you aren't able to get in. You can see there's tons and tons and tons of different kinds of exercise equipment in here for cardio. You have a weight machine, or you have something, what's the thing called that? You have a weigher? You understand what I mean. You're an adult. All right, so that's deck 15. What's important to know is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Those are all rooms. Those are all cabins. Make sure you're checking out the cabin tours if you're curious about that. But I'm gonna take you down to the floor that you're gonna be spending probably a lot of your sailing on, and also something that I was really surprised by because Valiant did it differently than Brilliant. So let's go check out deck 7 at the Roundabout. All right, we've made our way down to deck 7 and we're at the Roundabout. And there's a lot of things that look similar to Brilliant Lady, and there are a couple of things that look different on Valiant Lady now that she's out of dry dock. And I'm just realizing, like in general, they're taking a lot of both our sailor feedback as well as the way sailors are using spaces, and they're just making changes in general. So the Roundabout is a space that lots of different events, happenings, cast things. It's a place that you'll just spend a lot of your time coming and going. But they refreshed this entire Roundabout space, and it looks a little bit different than Brilliant Lady in terms of the seating. And as you head over to this side, which is Future Voyages, they've redone it. And Future Voyages is where you can get a My Next Virgin Voyages voucher. It's where you can talk to the team about future cruises, book your cruise with us. There's only one way you can know what kind of a deal we can get you. And this open space is over here, and they oftentimes will either have music or a DJ set up, and sometimes they'll show something here. So for example, they had the World Cup game being shown on there, and this entire space was completely packed out at 1 a.m. You'll see that they've opened up, just like on Brilliant Lady, the draft house space, where they have not just beers anymore, but they've extended the menu to have more cocktails, as well as they serve Moet over here, etc. And they have crew walking around to serve you if you don't want to go up to the bar. But they've just created a really nice seating space here on deck 7 at the Roundabout. I absolutely love it. It looks very similar to Brilliant, with just a couple small minor changes here and there. And one thing that they did change on Valiant is some of the seating at the ice cream, Lick Me Till Ice Cream. This is a spot that's open till 10 p.m. We set an alarm to make sure we stop by before it closes. But they have 3 types of cones, and they also have like the daily rotating ice cream. So make sure you're checking that out. You can see that this seating space is new, and Lick Me Till Ice Cream leads into the back, this back area, or what I'm calling the back area, which is the pizza place. And the pizza place also has a daily pizza that rotates as well. This is open, and this is a change on Virgin Voyages, not just Valiant Lady. It's open 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. So a change that they made is on sea days, it's open 12 to 12. So one thing I would recommend, again, just check the app to make sure you're looking at the hours of different things. This is a place where you can grab your pizzas to go, or you can have it for here. They have the takeaway fridge where they have salads, and then you can get your different choice of dressing. Obviously not free, but they have different drink items. Ahoy! And then let's see what the pizza, oh my gosh, this actually looks freaking solid. So the pizza today is a 5 formaggi, which is the 5 cheese. And one thing a lot of people don't realize is you can actually customize the pizzas. So you can get like, oh, I want a cheese pizza with arugula on it. You can ask for things like that. And then they have seating inside, and they also have the outdoor seating as well. I'm not gonna lie, this door is heavy AF. But you can sit outside as well, or just take the pizza wherever you want on the ship. A lot of people don't realize that, especially new sailors, that you can grab a drink from one restaurant, take it somewhere else on the ship with you, or take food from one place, eat it somewhere else. But I do have sad news for you when we get to the restaurants. One thing that confuses a lot of people. We'll get to that in a minute. But that's the pizza place. Definitely recommend checking out those pizzas of the day. We're gonna head to aft. So again, right now we're at mid, we're at the roundabout. This elevator bank right here, this is your home. This is your go-to. If you're lost, go to mid, take the elevators or the stairs. It's a great place to go navigate. I will show you the dead space. You're gonna be like, what, dead space? Yeah, because you're gonna end up there at some point and you'll be like, ugh, Kristen told me we would get lost and get here. And then you can laugh at yourself and then know that there's a restroom there in case you need it. Because I use that restroom sometimes. Anyway. Here's Grounds Club. So we saw Grounds Club 2 upstairs, Grounds Club downstairs. One of the things I love is they rotate out the daily Danish. Today is the pineapple Danish. All of these items are free and included. They also serve premium coffee. So those are the ones that do have a fee unless you have some kind of status where you get things for free. And one thing I have seen that's new on Virgin Voyages is that they have this new Path water for $7, so that's new. Otherwise, you can do the free refill stations all over the ship. One other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they have a glance at the day, which is the printed schedule. So many people hate using the app, me included, I'm not gonna lie. They've made a lot of changes and updates to the app. It's much improved. I actually use the website a lot, to be totally honest, like when I was booking my shore things before I got on the ship. Lots of things you can do through the Virgin Voyages website to manage your sailing, but you can also avoid it, the app, by using the daily schedule. That's also on the TV in your room, TVs around the ship. They have the book swap that's over here. On each of the lady ships, the art is different, that's over here. And then this will walk you into the social club. It was very lively last night at the social club. They had karaoke. I ate tons of the wings here. I'm gonna show you the menu and what that looks like. We have the free games that are available to everyone. You can just grab a game and play it and then be a good sailor and put it back. But lots of seating spaces out here to be able to play. And as you head into the social club, one thing that's newer, they've always shown games, but one thing that's newer is that they are showing the game times. So you have this here, which will show you what games are playing. Right now they got tennis on TV. One thing that I've noticed that's different is that they are covering the shuffleboard so that people can use that to sit. I mean, because it's World Cup time, people have been all watching the game at all hours that it's on. Back here, you have this space where lots of events, whether trivia, karaoke, happenings, cast events happens. And this is a spot a lot of people miss, that you shouldn't miss. And this is the Loose Cannon, a really fun bar where they have these little octopus shot things. I'll show them to you in a second. They have a jukebox that's back here. And they have a full bar. This is more like your rum drinks. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff, but lots of fun drinks. Make sure you check out the bars video. But they also have these options to be able to get different kinds of shots. They also have scorpion bowls and they serve them on top of there. Not the scorpion bowls, but the shots. That's really fun. So they have that. That's the Loose Cannon bar. On the other side is a place that I like to spend a lot of my time, and you should too, because a lot of people don't realize that the arcade is free. The arcade is free, all the games are free. One thing kind of varies ship to ship. I used to always try to high score on Miss Pac-Man, I'm very good at it. not gonna lie. But they removed on some of the ships the ability to high score on things. I'm not gonna cry about that. But they have Daytona on this side. The games on each of the ships is different. So it's kind of fun to see what it is ship to ship. Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong. We got Miss Pac-Man back here. Whew, thank goodness. Space Invaders, I mean, a lot of people don't realize how old I am, but I grew up playing this game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have definitely beaten that game at the arcade many a time as a child. And on this side, this is where they have the food and the drinks for the social club. And one of the things that I think is really fun that they have here is the floats. So they have all kinds of floats. Lots of people get upset that it's not a shake, but they have floats available. So they have like the Skinny Pie, Whiskey Dreams, they have dirty sodas. And one thing that you can consider is getting it NA, non-alcoholic. So you can literally just get a float with no alcohol, which is fantastic. But food-wise, they have snacks. They have pretzels, wings, and popcorn. Last night I had the natural wings. Otherwise you get it with buffalo sauce. And then they have 4 different kinds of hot dogs. And one thing, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't wanna knock it till I tried it, but I ain't never trying it again. I'm not about the vegan hot dog. I tried the vegan hot dog one time and was like, all right, I tried it. On this side, this is one of my mom's favorite places. You have this area where they have all the different kinds of candy. Right now they're not open, but they normally have, you can kind of see it on the side here, like red vines and gummy bears and Swedish fish, etc. But this is a place where you can grab some of their fun little candy items. And as you head back, one of the hidden bathrooms, again, it's hard to find the bathrooms. The men's restroom is over here, the women's down a little bit more. The art here, different on each of the lady ships. And in general, it's kind of fun, especially if you like art, to see how it is different on each of the lady ships. And if you really want to geek out on it, the Happenings Cast event does have like a little scavenger hunt around that. It's cute. I will show you these when they are open, but we have the shops. Because we're at port, the shops are not open today, but this is one of the shops. And they change out the items based off of where you're sailing. So for example, when I was in Alaska, it was cold weather gear. We have the hidden, now you know the secret of where it's at. You have the hidden bathroom, that's a women's restroom. And this is where we're going to move into the dock house and the dock. So the dock house is this indoor space. And within this indoor space, you have the area where they serve the different tapas. And then during a portion of the day, they serve Opa Hour, which is the Greek bites. And so you'll raise the flag and you can order, the crew will bring this around to you. You'll order different kinds of tapas. One of my favorite ones, actually, I'm gonna list the entire menu. If I could name just 2, I love the shrimp and I love the chicken. But usually they'll have like music over here. Sometimes they'll set up trivia in here, but a really beautiful space. And this leads to this area over here, which is the dock house bar. And again, they have crew that walks around. You simply raise, these have little flags, you raise the flag. If you want to see all the different drink items, again, the bar menu, the bar video is really helpful. But over here you have the space where it's the dock house bar. And then this is going to lead to a very hidden area that lots of people will look for and never be able to find. When I brought my sister on Virgin Voyages, she spent an entire morning looking for this and couldn't find it. And that's Juice C. Juice, S-E-A, Juice C. And that's the juice bar. And at the juice bar, they have cold pressed juices as well as healthy shots and just all kinds of things that are juice bar. It's 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. over here. And one thing that's new on Virgin Voyages is, at least on Brilliant Lady, they were serving some of these items upstairs at the galley. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had breakfast in the galley yet, so I haven't looked on this sailing. But Juicy is where you can find these types of items. And you'll also find the takeaway fridge on this side where they have, oh yes, they have more tres leches, yes. So you have another takeaway fridge that's over here. And that's gonna lead you outside to the dock. All right, We're at the dock, and by the way, book your cruise with us. We can help you. I cannot wait to go explore Ken today, but I absolutely want to take you guys through this helpful tips video and a tour of Valiant Lady. You'll see a lot of the same things you see on all the other lady ships. I'm glad they didn't change these spaces, but this is a place where there's actually a couple things to know about the dock. One thing I love is, especially during sunset hour, they will set up a DJ back here and they'll have mellow tunes and you can kind of jam out on. Sometimes they're not mellow tunes and they're fun tunes. But a great place to go during sail away, great place to spend the afternoon. They have towels out here. A lot of people ask, do I have to, no, you don't reserve anything, just first come, first serve. Another thing that's helpful to know is, yes, you can come out here in bathing suits. A lot of people ask me that. Is it okay if I come out in a bathing suit? Absolutely. It's also Virgin Voyages. There's not any dress code. Fun fact, cannot wear a G-string thong in places where people eat, like in the restaurants. Helpful. They have towels out here, and they also on this menu serve half bottles of alcohol. So you could spend the whole day here mixing your own drinks. Are you ready to open the heaviest door in the world? This first one will auto open, but the second one's heavy. You also have another water refill station that's out here. And then, I mean, I haven't walked you out in these spaces, but there's plenty of outdoor seating on the sides of the ship. There's lots of places to just chill and hang out. You don't always have to be active. Don't forget you're on vacation. So let me just give you your bearings really quick, because I just walked you through the secret door. So we had just come from that way. So Juicy is there. The dock house bar is right there. This is the aft, the back elevator. On this side, right, you're like, yeah, now I know I'm at. This, right, this is the dock house. Now, one thing that confuses a lot of people is the wake entrance. The wake is on 6, but the entrance is on 7. So you check in for the wake here, and then you go downstairs. So let's head into the wake, because this is a restaurant I do recommend making your reservation in advance. Doing walk-ins can be a little bit more difficult here. It's not impossible, but if you try to do a walk-in here, I recommend trying to go during like an odd hour, like either really early or really late. But when you head downstairs of the wake, you have the beautiful stair set. I've seen so many beautiful weddings down here. This is one of the 3 spaces that they currently hold weddings at. Really pretty setups that I've seen down here. Make sure you check out those videos if you're curious. But you have this beautiful space. This is where you wait for your table once you've checked in with the host or hostess. And the Wake is one of the 2 restaurants that serves brunch. So they have a brunch service available. Ooh, and one thing a lot of people don't realize is that during brunch, if you come at 12 or after, there's a slightly different menu where they have a few added steak dishes, and they also have the seafood tower. They serve the seafood tower at dinner also. I love it. So I actually haven't walked to this portion of the wake yet. So if you're a longtime sailor, you'll be noticing a couple things. One is like these stanchions are different and updated with the dry dock, so that's new. And one thing that is also new is this back wine bar area. If you watch my videos, you know I complained a little bit about this. So this one's kind of like a half-half, where on Scarlet Lady, they don't have this glass thing. On Resilient Lady, they have the glass thing. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the back area. One thing I recommend if you're trying to get into the wake is asked to sit here. In my opinion, it's not the most comfortable place to sit. Like the seat height is not the best, but it's a place where you can more easily sit versus trying to get one of these tables. So the wake, available during brunch and dinner, really great restaurant. I actually love coming here and eating the fish. One of my favorite dishes to eat is the salt-baked dorade. It is salty. I like salty things. And a lot of people, so when it gets served to you, it gets served in this like breaded crust thing. It's a very salty breaded crust thing, and they put the fish inside and then they open it and serve it table side to you. And a lot of people ask if they can eat that breading, and it's really salty. So they don't actually let you eat that I'm sure if you begged them, I guess they might let you. But this is the Wake. Love that restaurant. Make sure it's one of the first restaurants that you book. Ooh, and a helpful tip is that on the day of embarkation, a lot of people don't realize that they don't open every single dinner reservation prior to the cruise. A lot of them are not open until you get onto the ship. So if you realize, oh my gosh, like I don't have a reservation for pink agave or something like that, do it once you get onto the ship. When I come onto Virgin Voyages, my order of operations is always embark, say hi to everyone, start the muster video, and start booking things. Because most of the entertainment is first come, first serve. But we're starting to see some changes. For example, Murder in the Manor is now one available for free, but you book it in advance. Or there are some things like the dinners and a show. On this sailing, on Valiant Lady, you have It's a Ship Show, which is a free event, but because it's dinner and a show, there's only so many seats in the Manor, and so you have to book it in advance so that they have your seat available to you and the dinner available. And another helpful thing to know about It's a Ship Show, I went this time because some of my favorite entertainers, Darren the Mad Sailor, Brittany, she was doing the wheel on this sailing. Amazing. Dice, amazing dancer. So many talented people in It's a Ship Show. I didn't eat the dinner. Not because I didn't want to, but because, and I cannot wait to take you to Ariya. You don't have to eat the dinner. A lot of people are like, oh, but I don't want to eat the dinner. And it's like, what says you have to? It's your vacation. All right, so I think if you've already noticed, we're walking back toward mid. So just now, we were at the back of the ship, at the wake. We were at aft. And one of the things is I'm going to show you the dead space at the end of the video. So when you end up there, you're like, ah, yeah. But one thing that's different, they put the ship, the little model of the ship on this side. Normally it's over there. But one thing that's also new is that they updated this area. And one thing that's different than Brilliant Lady is on Valiant, they have this added screen and they have just this updated Shore Things area. They have a Shore Things area that's available on Brilliant, but they did it just slightly different here. Now we're gonna walk 4. So we covered 7 mid, we saw Draft House, we saw the new Roundabout space, we saw ice cream, so important. Also very important. We saw, also very important. We saw the pizza place. I spent a lot of time there. We saw the dock and the dock house. And now we're gonna walk toward 4. And there's 3 things over here I wanna make sure that you see that you'll be enjoying on your cruise vacation. Book your cruise with us and make sure you get on the email list. There's just so much content that a lot of people miss. I love meeting you guys on the ship, and I was chatting with Julie yesterday. We were on the same shore thing together, and she was like, you should make a video about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I did. All right, this is an important space. One of my favorite places. Why? Because I love champagne. I really, really do. Drink it every day. This is Sip. Sip is the champagne bar. It's not just champagne. Full cocktail menu. All of the bars have their own unique menu. And one of the things that they do here on sea days is high tea at sea. And because it's, you know, a special food item, comes with a special tea and an option of an add-on of Moet. It does come with a fee. I think the last time I checked, it was $19 without champagne, $35 with, which is less than it would cost if you bought them individually. Right now, the bar is not open, but when it's open, absolutely gorgeous backsplash that's over there. We have unique art to Valiant Lady on this side, and then you have the Red Room. Depending on the show, the Red Room will set up in lots of different ways. Let's go in there. But normally you'll enter on deck 6. Sometimes, depending on the show, you can enter on deck 7. I bet people are practicing right now, so let's be quiet. They're doing maintenance. Oh, thanks. All right. So that's the Red Room. You're going to have all kinds of events there, whether you're going for the Red Room party on Scarlet Night for the new reimagined Scarlet Night in the Red Room, if it's indoor, or they have, oh gosh, I'm going to name a million things if I do. These are the 4 elevators, not 4, but F-O-R-E, 4 elevators. And on this side is the Groupie. Lots of people miss this. This is available to you for free. This is karaoke. We're gonna walk into this space, but I just wanna make sure I show you the other entrance. So this is the other way you can enter the Red Room if you can enter for that show on 7. But otherwise, we're gonna head into the Groupie. And one thing that confuses a lot of people about the Groupie is they're like, how do I sign up? I can't sign up on the app. It's because you don't sign up on the app. Sign up over here. Sometimes you can hear people singing. So just the day of, you can sign up. So do you see how it says today, July 8th in Ken? And then you can just sign up for a 1-hour slot. And you can say which room you want, and you just put your cabin number, etc. And it's also helpful to know that the Groupie closes at midnight. And so each of the room is different. So we have the pink room. This one is 4 to 6 sailors. Much larger is the purple room, and that one holds 8 to 10 sailors. Versus, right, some of these smaller ones, like the one I just walked past at the entrance, holds just 1 to 2 sailors. This is crew space over here. And you have the blue room, which is the 2 to 4 sailors. So that's the Groupie. It's, I feel like, so my parents were born in the Philippines. I'm supposed to be big on karaoke, but I'm not big on karaoke. So that's deck 7. We're gonna walk down to deck 6. And there's a couple things over here that I'm super excited for you to see. One of them is very new for Valiant Lady. They redid this space entirely, but let's take a walk over to 6. All right, so here's something that's unique to Valiant, which I think they're putting into Brilliant as well, which is the den, i.e. the casino. So there's more casino space over here. Let's see, today's port day, yeah. So this is not gonna be open, but I can kind of show you from the outside what the den looks like. But there's basically additional tables, there's more slot machines, etc. But this is the den, and this is not the only casino. We'll walk through the casino on the other side, but that's just this additional casino space. And as we walk to 6 on this side, you're going to see the main entrance to the Red Room. Generally, you're going to be going through this entrance when you go to the different Red Room shows, and so you can kind of expect that. The Red Room, and one thing that, I don't know why people complain about this. I mean, trust me, I love a good champagne flute, but you cannot bring glass into the Manor parties, you cannot bring glass into the Red Room, and so they'll always have crew out front switching your glass into a plastic vessel of sorts. Here you have the smoking room, so that's over here. This is at the casino, entrance on 4, F-O-R-E. And then you have the cage where you can cash in, cash out. I was going to make a helpful tip about gratuity, but lots of people don't want to hear about that, so I'm not going to say anything. I'll just say that lightly. I've seen the Reddit comments. We have an ATM on this side. There's also one down in Sailor Services. One thing that's new on Valiant Lady with the refresh is there's just more slot machines. So there's more slot machines on Valiant Lady. You have the casino space that's here. Since we're at port, it's not open right now. But this is the casino space. And lots of people don't realize that it's here on the casino floor that you enter the Manor. The Manor is, I mean, every space on Virgin gets kind of changed over and used in lots of different ways. But the Manor is a place where you'll go for a lot of nightlife, events, shows, parties, etc. This is where you'll find the famous lighted hallway that people love to take photos in. I just love the Manor. You have, oh, helpful tip. You don't have to enjoy the Manor from 6. When you walk through, you have the option of taking the stairs and enjoying your show, or if you don't want to be cutting a rug on the dance floor, you can head upstairs and you can enjoy the manor from upstairs. There's, depending on the event, there's a bar up there as well. Usually a faster place to get served. I'll usually run upstairs to get my drinks. You can otherwise use, depending on which ones are open, one of the 2 bars that are down here. And you're going to see something that's specific and new to Valiant Lady only in just a moment. But you have the manor space here, and I just love the manor. One thing that's new is that these spaces here are way more open. I'm only 5'2", so usually I will stand over here. I'll usually stand here because then I have like additional 6 inches to be able to see things, but it's no longer raised up. But I will say, I like this. It's much more open. So when we were enjoying the party the other night, I loved this because lots of people can sit and lounge in these spaces, yet, actually, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Like when you sit in these spaces, you can still enjoy what's happening in the manor, whereas before, you couldn't really see what was going on. It was a little bit more closed off. I mean, if you're a longtime sailor, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like we can start using those spaces a little bit more. You can also get upstairs over here from this stairwell as well. You have the second downstairs bar over on this side. It's not always open. It depends on what the event is. Obviously, for example, on Scarlet Night for the hip hop after party, the after party is hip hop or non-hip hop, depending on which ship you're on. Valiant, it is a hip hop after party. It will be open on both sides, but this is the manor. Ooh, should I tell you my secret? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you my secret. So the way I enter and exit the manor is I like to go through this door. And ooh, this is like super OG. You're a super duper OG. Tell me if you know this. If you go through this door, there's usually a handle down here, but they removed that on Valiant Lady. Now you just use the handle like a normal door. So that's the lighted hallway. That's the manor. New changes there. Super excited. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go to On the Rocks because this is a change that I'm really excited about. And they've opened up this space to look a little bit different than what it was before. The rest of the casino's here. You got the casino bar on this side. Obviously, the casino bar only opens when the casino's open. And over here you have On the Rocks. On the Rocks bar that's huge whiskey list. It's not just whiskey though, it's just lots of options for whiskey. And you can see they're starting to set up for Scarlet Night over here. But you have the bottom of the Roundabout. That's this space here with the awkward staircase. It's always awkward to walk up and down those stairs. Tell me if you feel me on that. And then you have seating over here that's the same as the other lady ships. You have the On the Rocks bar. And then here's the change. Usually the entertainment will be here, but on Valiant Lady, they're trying something different where it's over in the corner. And I was like, on day one, I was like, I don't really know about that. And then when I actually watched Kennedy in the Groove, I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. So many more people can sit and enjoy it. So like, hold on, let me just show you something. This is what I'm talking about. Kind of like similar to the manor. Like when you look at it from over here, it just makes a ton of sense. Like when you look at this, look at how many more people can enjoy the bands. I feel like this isn't really capturing it well, but versus what it normally is, it's just totally different. So that's On the Rocks. When you're over on this side, a couple things, and I'm going to put some additional footage here so that you can see these things when they're open. But you have the Virgin Voyages brand store on this side. You have Booty Free. Ooh, this is actually really important. And I'll show you this when it's open. Booty Free is no longer just alcohol. They actually have like proper duty-free stuff that's in here. So I'll B-roll over that. And then they have Eyes and Shine. This is different by lady ship, right? Like on Scarlet, they have the MAC makeup normally located there. Stubble and Groom is where men can pamper themselves. Dry Dock is where you can get your hair done, etc. And then you have, and there's a couple new stores. That was new after the Dry Dock. But Right now, everything's closed. I'm gonna add some B-roll over this of when things are open so you can see it properly. But if you like to shop, this is your place to be. And this is, if you like to shop, I recommend booking your sailing with us. Why? Because Sailor Loot. Sailor Loot you can use everywhere on the ship, including all of these items at the shops, or you can use your Sailor Loot to go to Squid Ink and you can go get a tattoo at sea. I think it's such a unique thing that really sets Virgin Voyages apart from other cruises. I mean, what other cruise line has a drag queen as one of the key entertainers as well as a ability to get a tattoo? Extra Virgin. Let's go in here, but I want to tell you a helpful tip. It's the men's restrooms on one side and the women's restrooms on the other side. Throws off a lot of people because they would expect them to be side by side. That's not necessarily the case. But at Extra Virgin, this is your elevated Italian. So it's not just pasta. A lot of people think it's just pasta, and it's not. Ooh, helpful tip. If you're trying to last minute walk in, ask to sit at the bar. That's how I normally do it. I sit at the bar. I also love sitting at these high tops. Tell me in the comments below if you've seen me sitting at one of these high tops. I love sitting at the high tops. Elevated Italian food. And one of the things that's changing on each of the Virgin Voyages ships is they're adding more items that are specific to the ship. So if you are like, oh yeah, I've been on Resilient, yeah, I've been on Scarlet, make sure you're looking for the Valiant specific items that are for Extra Virgin, because there's different items on each of the lady ships that you can't get somewhere else. I feel like I tend to hear more complaints about what people are upset that they removed, but I don't know. Go to that lady ship if you want to eat there. I don't know. I like the variety. I'm happy with it. So this is Extra Virgin, just a really pretty restaurant. I love eating here. Oh, I have a dinner reservation here tonight. I'm excited for that. And one thing that's also helpful to know is that each of the cocktail lists, and there's also like the mocktail program is huge. I did the entire mocktail tasting at Test Kitchen once. Probably got up where it was why I know where the restroom's located on this floor for the women's because I used that a lot on that sailing. The mocktail program is humongous, but they also have unique wine and cocktails for each restaurant. So let's head over to the other side, because one thing that just confuses, thank you, a lot of people is that where are these things located? One side of 6 is Extra Virgin. The other side of 6 is where you're going to find Test Kitchen. So we're walking back through the shops, High Street. And as you walk, so right now we're walking into mid. This is where the 6 mid elevators are at. And on the other side is going to be more shops and then also Test Kitchen. You can see people are coming back from port today at Ken. It is a tender port. Like, what's a tender port? That's when you have to take the little baby boat to get to the port or the dock. But you have more shops on this side. And then that in this direction is going to lead you back to On the Rocks. And on the other side, it's going to lead you over to Test Kitchen. Test Kitchen is, I recommend focusing on the word test. It's a test. Testing out all different kinds of food. It's supposed to be unique. It's supposed to be different. It's not supposed to be chicken nuggets. Like, it's a different kind of dining. You haven't seen this restaurant before. So on this side, right, you got the women's restroom. You do the mocktail program and you're female using the women's restroom, you go in there a lot. Helpful tip. Here, they'll put the menu that they're serving that day. And if you're on a longer voyage, they'll switch it out. So in other words, if you're on a 4-day Miami, probably eating the same, I mean, there's more restaurants than 4 nights. So you'll probably only come here once if you come here. So they'll have on the longer sailings which menu they're serving. Tonight they are serving, this salmon cucumber is one of my favorite dishes. Never mind, I'm gonna tell you I love every single dish. Actually, that's not true. I think the shrimp garlic is just okay, to be honest. All right, anyway, this is Test Kitchen. Really delicious menu, in my opinion. I love coming here with 2 people and then sharing one regular menu and one vegetarian menu. Just nice to have that variety. They kind of assemble things in front of you here fun restaurant. They also hold some of the happenings cast events in here. So like the foodie will oftentimes do different kinds of, I mean, in Alaska, they had this baked Alaska class, for example. Chicken and bubbles, no, I think that's held in Razzle Dazzle. But they'll, depending on what the food event is, they'll hold it over in Test Kitchen. So that's 6. What we saw was the restaurants. We saw High Street. We saw On the Rocks. Mid is your friend, right? Did you notice what we didn't see on 6? We did not see 6 aft. We did not see the back. Why? Think about it. 6 aft is where the wake is at. That's why there's a dead space. You can't walk through. So that's 6. Let's take it down to 5 because there's something I'm so excited to show you, and that's the new Ariya restaurant. It looks absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to show you 2 things first. One is going to be with a bit of B-roll over it because I'm sure there are people who are enjoying themselves in the Redemption Spa, the Thermal Suite Spa. But as you come down 5, this is mid, right? This is mid. The 5 mid elevators or stairs, you'll have the spa. And at the spa, they have the Thermal Suite Spa. They have the area where you can do all of the different massage stuff, etc. Great place to enjoy spa services. Lots of people ask, you know, like, how is it? Is it any good? Is it worth it? I mean, tell me your opinion in the comments below. I love doing spa stuff, but I do spa stuff all over the world. So I'm absolutely happy to relax everywhere and anywhere I go. Hopefully this is a place you're not spending too much time, but this is Sailor Services, i.e. your customer service. So this is where they can help you with basically everything. There's 2 things to know that are on this side. 1 is where you can pick up the daily agenda, and 2 is the ATM. So that's helpful to know, and that's in Sailor Services. Again, not the only place that you can go to an ATM, not the only place you can pick up a daily schedule, but one of the places. Helpful to know, right? Women's restroom is on one side. Men's restroom, we'll see that in a minute, on the other side. Helpful tip. Scarlet Night, when it turns red all over the ship, awful taking a photo. Come here. Best place to take a photo on Scarlet Night. All right, we got Pink Agave, which is your Mexican restaurant. Let's walk you through here. We have Kulani. I love this man right here. Don't mind me. As we walk back here, oh, I love Pink Agave. Great restaurant, really big tequila, mezcal options. This is a place where it's not like tacos. It's not just like tacos. It's way more than that. Some of the favorite dishes that I love, I personally love the fish. Everybody loves the steak. Comes with this beautiful sauce and cheese on top of it. I also really love the pato, the duck. There's just so many delicious items. This is your cruise vacation. A lot of people don't realize you're not limited to how much food you can get. I saw someone here kind of, I'm not going to say losing their shit, but to be honest, they were losing their shit because they were like, this portion is way too small. And then they looked over at me and I had ordered 4 portions of that thing. Your girl likes to eat. That's why I'm wearing loose pants today. All right, that's just an honest story. They also have fun events in here. The Loteria, which is the Mexican bingo, is being held in here. They also have Pink Agave after dark. Usually they won't announce when that's happening until you're on your sailing, but basically they'll set up a DJ in here. It's a really fun time to be able to dance or just listen to music, have a drink at the bar, hang out. I love that. The 5 staterooms, Deck 5 staterooms, are over on that side. And that basically leads, that's about it. I mean, on Deck 4, you have medical. I'm just gonna hope that you never have to go down there. I'll just say that. But you have staterooms over on this side. And one of the top things is like, depending on where you're at, there are some rooms are better than others. And there are some rooms I would never, ever recommend you stay in. These are all things we can help you with. A lot of people are like, I didn't like the location of my room and I couldn't figure out how to change it. And I was on hold for 3 hours. And I'm like, send us a text message. We'll help you fix that. We got you. This is the type of service that we provide. It never costs a fee to work with us. So book your sailing with us. Are you ready? Let's talk about Ariya. I'm excited. I'm so excited to show you this. looks different, looks so different. I guess I felt, I was like, oh man, like Rojo, right? Rojo, Lucky Lotus looks so different. This one, like, I don't know, it's like, man, she really did get a glow up men's restroom. Beautiful entrance. I recommend watching Jake the Foodie's vlog on Ariya. It was amazing to see how last minute. It's going in the bloopers. Ariya. It was amazing how last minute they brought this all together. But here's Ariya. And immediately one of the things that you'll notice is how, yes, there is like open seating, but there's also more seating with privacy. We're alone, finally. Please no comments about that. So there's still open seating, but you'll see like, right? There's like booths on this side. That's cool. You have like these little privacy things here like this. Just looks different. So I've been dining here every single night, slowly making my way through the menu. My parents were born in the Philippines, so food waste is kind of an issue for me. So I'm just taking a little bit of time, which is not what people on Reddit assume, actually. So those 44 nasty comments. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Your support is what helps me to keep going. I mean, think about it. Am I gonna watch this video for myself again later? No, I don't need this helpful tips video for myself. This is for you. I loved sitting in these booths, like a nice amount of privacy. I don't know, I just love the plants that are in here. I love what they did with this space. I mean, like, check out the lighting, the soft seating, so pretty in here. And then as you move into the back space, right, it's like elevated, I mean, you guys asked for it. You wanted more muted spaces. People hate the colors on Virgin Voyages. I love it, but I'm also kind of a colorful person. You have this back bar area. You can dine at the back bar. Especially at Lucky Lotus, I love sitting at this back area. You have the bar that's back here. The cocktail list is fun at this restaurant. Actually has been really fun. And then you have more seating back here. But this is Ariya. You have the Indian restaurant. I'm so curious what Resilient, when she goes into dry dock, what that will be, right? Because we have Lucky Lotus, that's Chinese. We have Rojo, we have Spanish. And now we have Ariya, which is Indian. And one thing that was fascinating about this restaurant, no curry, no curry. And if you're new to Virgin Voyages, it's helpful to know this is the place where you can have brunch, right? The Wake and Ariya. These are your two brunch places. And if you're like, Indian food for breakfast? No, it's brunch. It's the standard brunch menu. Get your eggs, get your waffles, and then just a couple of the items from the normal Ariya dinner menu will be available as well. Go watch the Ariya review video. I ate everything. I have the pants that don't fit to prove it. I'm Christine Lozada. Book your sailing with us. I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna roll these other spaces, Richard's Rooftop, the bloopers, etc. That's gonna be in this next part of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. This was a really fun one to film. It's been so fun to see what's new on Valiant, the Valiant Lady What's New video. That will be one that's dropping on the channel as well, so make sure you check that out. And I'll see you over at Richard's Rooftop. All right, so welcome to Richard's Rooftop. This is a space reserved for rock stars, i.e. you have a cabin type. That is a rock star room. So you get a not red band, but black band. And this is an exclusive space where you have two of these hot tubs. And it takes up kind of like the front-ish area of the ship, but lots of sunbeds and areas to hang out at. And one thing they have is not only the bar, but they have what's called Richard's Sunset Hour. So that's from 5 to 6 p.m. And if it's been a few years since you've sailed, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating right now. If it's been a few years since you've sailed, one thing that they've changed about sunset hour, before it used to just be, I don't want to say just, it used to just be Moet, and now they have all kinds of drinks available during sunset hour, from cocktails, etc. So make sure you're checking that out. If the weather's not good, then, you know, too windy, it's rainy, etc., then they tend to hold sunset hour in SIP on deck 7 in the front. You can see there's another hot tub over here, and then you have just the same seating on this side, and this extends over to where that smoking area is at. And at the entrance, you also have the towels, etc. And if you're on the Alaska sailing, then that means you have both the towels and the fuzzy blankets. But this is Richard's Rooftop. If you're ever curious about going Rockstar, and top misperception, people think, oh, if you go Rockstar, you can never go back. I totally disagree with that. I think Rockstar is a fantastic experience, but you don't have to do it every single time, but that's Richard's Rooftop.
Let me show you a space that, I don't know if you really care about it, but also on deck 16 is the training camp. And this is another fitness space. The workout team will hold boot camp style classes or other things here. And even the Happenings cast, the balancer, will hold their own fitness classes as well. Here's a fun fact. Before Virgin Voyages decided to become adults only, this was like the teen or kids center. Whew, right? Dodge that bullet. Anyway, I love working out here. It's one that many people get lost trying to find. So know that gym, right? Spin class and gym, deck 15, but training camp, deck 16. Again, mid is your friend. Go to mid and you're gonna find this here, whether through the stairs or through the elevator. All right, you ready to talk about the dead space? It's not technically called the dead space, I call it the dead space. But when you're at the aft, the back of the ship, right? We've learned that the wake takes up the entire 6 back of the ship, which means if you take the elevator down and you're at the back of the ship and you go to 6, you get stuck in this space here. A lot of people will take the elevator and be like, well, where am I? Like, how the heck did I get here? And so what's helpful to know is that if you want to get to somewhere in 6, normally you need to start at mid or 4, the front of the ship or the middle of the ship. If you accidentally find yourself back here, don't you worry. There's a bathroom on one side, and really that's about it. On the other side is the entrance into the wake. Not the entrance where you can like check in and get a table, but just like if you're dining, you're going to use the restroom, you come through these doors. But like if you're going to dine at the wake, you need to go from 7. Down below is crew space, so you're not welcome there. But you got the aft elevators that will take you back to safety or the stairs.